Hey guys, welcome back. So I've already shown you how I cut up my rib roast from this past Easter sale, how I store my steaks and freeze them. So today I'm going to show you how I actually make them. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I do and why, and then I'll get into showing you my whole process. So I do kind of an opposite of a reverse sear. So if you don't know what a reverse sear is, the first thing that you want to do is when you do reverse sear, which I don't, you take the steak, you bring it to temperature in the oven or almost to temperature, and then you sear the outside. I do the opposite of that. The reason why I do that is because my primary focus when I am making my steak is to get a good crust, a nice brown crust on the outside, and then I worry about bringing it to temperature. So the first thing that I do is I bring the temperature down in the fridge or even in the freezer sometimes, and then I sear it on the cast iron so that way it is nice and brown. And then if it is still too cool on the inside, when I take the internal temperature with my meat thermometer, then I'll bring it to temperature in my air fryer or my toaster oven around 154, maybe 10 minutes at most will bring it to temperature. So that is the reason why my primary focus is getting that nice golden crust on the outside of my steak, and then bringing it to temperature afterwards. And I've really been enjoying the results, so I'm going to share with you guys how I do that today. So here's my steak. It is in my fridge dry brining. I heavily salted it on both sides, laid it on a rack so that way the air could circulate all over the steak and dry out the surface of the steak really nice. Again, priority here is to get that nice golden crust, and dry brining is key. So I've had my steak dry brining for about an hour, a little over an hour at this point. And I'll do it for anywhere from an hour up until 1 or 2 days dry brining in my fridge, just depending on how much time I have. This one I just cut when I got home from work, so obviously I didn't have hours to let it dry brine, but I'm going to show you what I do with this in a moment. So change of plans, put the steak in the freezer just so it could get a little bit colder, since I didn't have enough time to dry out the surface as long as I would want it to. So I will do that on, make sure I get that good crust. So I've already put some avocado oil in my pan and it's been heating over medium for a little bit. I'm going to throw in some tallow. So I don't know, maybe a teaspoon of tallow, letting that heat up. I'm gonna season the steak with, it's already salted, right? It's already salted when it was dry brining, sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and put some garlic powder and pepper on it now. So a pretty healthy amount of garlic powder and pepper. Press it in, and I'm gonna put this side face down in the pan and let it sear. Kind of press it down for a little bit. Make sure that the whole bottom surface makes contact with the cast iron. And then I'm going to put garlic powder and pepper on this side as well. All right, we got the salt and pepper on there. Now I'm just gonna sear this until both sides are golden brown. I really don't have to worry too much about overcooking it on the inside because it started off cold. So I'm just gonna cook it until I see that nice, really golden brown. I did my first flip and look at that. It's only been about 2 minutes before it got that brown. I still want it a little browner. So we're gonna flip it a couple more times and come back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, last step is to take a big glob of butter and baste it, which I can't do with one hand, so you just have to trust me that that's what I'm about to do. All right, so now I'm just gonna let it rest. We're gonna take the internal temperature. Like it's right there. I like it about 140, 145. So it's at about 130, and carryover cooking should do the rest. So I'm gonna wrap this up and let it rest for a couple of minutes before I cut into it, make myself a salad, and I'll show you guys what my plate looks like. Okay, here we go. That's what we're looking like. Absolutely perfect for me.